Good morning, guys. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. For those people who are new here, my name is Ruth Mehaki, and you're most welcome to this channel. Thank you for your subscription. And for those who've been with me throughout, the other videos, thank you so much again, and you're most welcome to continue tuning in with me in this wonderful channel. So guys, today is a Thursday morning. I've just woken up, and to be honest, I've woken up in a very different mood, in a different way, and something triggered my mind back, way back into my childhood upbringing. Like that's like 20 years ago, and I've thought of sharing with you how my life was like so that you can get to know me a little bit, you know. Yes, and also I hope I can, you can relate with my story if you were brought up like me. So, sometimes back, many years ago, like 20 years ago, my mom and my dad separated. And in this case, it was not a good separation. Like it was not whereby parents decide, we'll separate and we continue co-parenting. In my case, there was no co-parenting, but actually that's not what made my, you know, the separation painful to me. So you'll get to know as we continue. And so my mom separated, like I've told you, way back like 20 years ago. And I really saw my mom, you know, really affected by separating with my dad. Actually, I remember the family, like my mom's sisters, those are my aunties and also my uncles. Most of them were like, you know, Mihaki, it's your fault that your marriage didn't work. I don't know why they said this, but I think it's because none of them had separated before. They were still in their marriages. And so they blamed my mom for the separation. Something that really affected my mom very, very bad, because for her, she knew she tried her level best for the marriage to work, but it couldn't, and she's that kind of a woman who is like, if something is not working and you've tried your level best, there's nothing much you can do. Maybe it was never meant to be. And so guys, my mom separated with my dad, and so we moved out of my father's house, and my mom had to look for a house. Thank God she was working, but not really a good job by then. She was just working here and there. And so my mom looked for a house for us, and then we rented it out, bought some few stuffs, because back in my father's house, he demanded that we will not come out of that house with anything. Like even what my mom had bought, because she had quite some stuffs like that she had bought, he said that we were to carry nothing, so we came out of that house without anything. And actually she took our clothes and she burned them, so like we started from scratch. My mom was really in pain, because both pressure from the husband, who was my dad, and then now from the family, who are the sisters and the brothers, going through such kind of a trauma is really something that no one will want or wished for. So yeah, we started our lives with my mom, and she was now the breadwinner of the family, though it's something that she was used to even before, because being with my dad was not making the situation any better, because my mom was still struggling, along the way, as so that she can make sure we get, the basic things. So even when we went for our rentals, she just continued with her, responsibility, which was providing for us and making sure that we had a good life. And so we were in school by then, so the life was really tough, because she was the one to buy uniforms for us, she was the one to pay school fees, she was the one to buy food, pay the house rent, like all the basic things, guys. She was the one providing. And I love my mom so 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 much, because actually at that age, if she was like to give up on us and say, I also don't want to take responsibility for these children, because she had a right to, she could have said like, I never gave birth to you, like single, i I and your dad, we made you to be on this earth. And because actually, guys, something that I have not told you, the reason something else that my mom's family, those are the aunties, the uncles, and the mother, they said this: if my mom wants to come back home, that's not my grandmother's house, she was supposed to go alone, because she left that house, when she was going for the marriage, alone. That meant she was not to come with us. So, like, children, no, come alone, just like you left this house. So for my mom, she didn't even have a second thought about it. She said, these are my children that I love very much, and I'm really, really willing to struggle with them and to give them a good future. I'll try my best. That's what my mom said. Something that I'll never forget, because at that, we were seeing it all, everything that she was going through, we were seeing it all, and we could be able to tell things were very bad. So yeah, we continued living with my mom back then, and we struggled. Life was not easy, to say so, but we made it out of it at all. So my dad, from the day they separated, I've never seen my dad. It's not like other families whereby you parents separate, whatever the reason that made you separate, it's really not, it should not affect the children. There are those kind of marriages that are like that. So like whatever went on between them never affects the children. But in our case, guys, the day we left my dad's house, I've never seen him. I've never heard from him, at least even, trying to look for us or something. So we really grew up without a dad. There was no that father figure in my life. Because again, my mom decided after the first marriage with my dad, like she was never gonna involve any man into our upbringing. Like she never remarried, and she never even brought anyone, like a father figure to talk to us or even to play the role of a father into our lives. It's something that I'm grateful for, because at least we happen to be of the same father. But again, it's something that came up with different, different consequences as well. Here you are, you're being brought up, and with time, you're growing up, and there's not that, that interaction with a father figure into our lives. So, guys, um, being brought up by my mom alone affected me both negative wise and also positive wise. Something that I want to share with you. I went to my primary school, no dad showing up. I went to my high school, still no dad. I finished high school, guys, dad is not showing up. And I went to campus, no dad showing up. Guys, um, having gone through all that, you know, with no dad, it's really affected me, like psychologically. Things seems different to me, you know, and just please bear with me to say this, but this is something that can really affect you, like in a serious way. It's not a joke. So for me, having seen my mom struggle to pay my school fees for our primary school, seeing me through, and now I'm done even with campus, really made me like believe. Now, this is in a positive way. These are some of the positive things that I got from that, from their situation of being raised without a dad. Like, I came to know that a woman alone, first of all, you don't need anyone, to make you happy. You are your own happiness. You generate your own happiness, because I could see it clearly from my mom. She became so happy after even separating with my dad, even after going the struggle. She was a happy woman raising her own children. So guys, you don't need, for those some people who thinks that, I'm not happy, I need a man in my life. Uh, my dear, you're very wrong. You generate your own happiness, you make your own happiness. And that's something that I learned from my mom in a very positive way. Something that I learned from my mom is that working hard, working hard, ladies out there, without depending on anyone, is what will determine your success. You work hard, also by involving God, because again, my mom was a very prayerful woman, and she is a very prayerful woman. Her spiritual, beliefs are very strong in Christianity. And so she was a very, very hardworking and a very prayerful woman. That's another positive thing that I learned from my mom. I also learned that at the end of it all, you can make it. No matter the situation, no matter the struggles you're going through, you can make it and come out as a winner, you know. And you have to really work hard toward towards what you want. You really have to work hard into making it in life. And no matter what people say about you, because let me tell you guys, my mom's family really talked ill about my mom. Like, they really talked ill. I can just say that. And sorry, because I know some of them will come to watch this video and they'll be like, oh, that was not fair. Because later on, when we grew up and we went on with our school and we became people, at least you could tell it's a family that's not really struggling that much, because with my mom's hard work, we later came to overcome the struggles we had in life. The family came back. Now they can talk to you, they can show you that you really matter. But at first, we're not children. We know that we really didn't matter by then. It's thanks to my mom that we matter. So we know all that. And it's something that used to be painful by then, but we've learned that, we've learned to deal with it with time. I personally have learned to forgive. I've learned that things happen, and it's not that everything that happened, will make you happy. It's not everyone who will be there with you during the struggles. It's not everyone who will be there when you're beginning something, small, or maybe something you really want to do. Guys, it's never everyone who will be there. But what has made you to start something, or what you believe into, or what gives you the strength? Like for us, my mom believed that seeing us growing up, we really we really used to give us the strength to continue with the struggles. So guys, what makes you, this is something that I would also want to say into that point. What makes you, feel more important, what gives you strength to continue, look for that thing. And when you find your strength into that thing, like in this case it was us the children, guys, don't listen to what people will say. Don't look at the struggles you're going through in towards achieving what you want. Just do that thing regardless. Just go on with your plans, and at the end of it all you'll be a proud person. So that's the positive side. I've learned to be a strong woman, I've learned to be a hardworking woman, I've learned you can make it alone, and that is in a positive way. But guys, remember, when God said a child should have two parents, that's a mother and a father, he really knew what he meant. Because to be honest with you guys, a child needs two parents in their upbringing. It really matters. And before I even go to that point, guys, some of the negative things that I went through, or affected me, or I'm still dealing with right now, really, really demotivated me quite a bit. Especially back in primary, not in high school, guys. Sorry, I was about to say in high school. Back in primary school, I could see some children, talking about their dad, some being brought by their dad. Actually, even high school, some people were being brought up by their dad, and you can hear someone saying, I and my dad, we did this, I and my dad, we went here. Guys, it was really a bad experience. So without having my dad in my life, one, it made me bitter, very bitter towards him. Something that should not be the case, because once you start having bitterness in your heart, it will also affect you because you're not a happy person. So most of the time I was not happy. Most of the time I was thinking, why not even at least come and say hi to us? As much as maybe he never wanted responsibilities, it's good to show up, to just let us know he still exists, no matter maybe the situation, or maybe whatever made them separate, we were not of age to understand, but at least he could have showed up. So that's something that kept lingering into my mind, and it really used to bother me a lot, a lot, and a lot. Another thing, that I lost confidence. I didn't have confidence in expressing myself, around both genders, because I didn't have that father figure to talk to. Yes, my mom was there. She tried playing the both role of a father and a mother. But there are things you can tell your mom, and there are things you can wish you had a dad to talk to about. And so, guys, uh, that really is something that affected me. Excuse me, guys. I really like taking water when I wake up in the morning. It makes me feel refreshed and just energetic. Even if you haven't taken your breakfast, it makes you feel good. So, guys, like I've saying, without that father figure into my life, you know, it really discouraged me. I lost confidence because I wished I had a dad to relate to. I wish I had a dad to share with, some of the things that I couldn't tell my mom. Another thing, guys, and this is the worst thing that happened to my life. I developed now hatred towards men. I really hated men. Like, gosh, I hated men because what my dad has done to us made me think that this is how men are. This is how men behave. Even the uncles. Again, what the uncles did to my mom, like all the things that they told my mom, like I've told you back. Oof, guys, it was just crazy into my mind. And I made a conclusion that all men are bad. And I made a conclusion, I don't need a man in my life to tell me anything. I can deal with any situation that will come into my life, even when I'm grown up. I can deal with it just like my mom did. She dealt with our situation of having been thrown out of the house that we called our home and having to start from a scratch, guys. So there was that mentality in my mind that there's no a point I'll come to need a man in my life. Wow. This is something that was really crazy because I went on with that mentality from primary school, high school, campus, until I was done with campus. At some point, it was really affecting me because I remember, at least in primary, there was nothing much to deal with, because we were still young and all that. And also in high school, there was nothing much, because you're still focused and all that. So even the time to notice you don't have a man in your life, or you don't even have a male friend in your life, was not that much, of interest. This is something that most of the people we related with, most of the people we grew up together with, they didn't notice as to why maybe I acted the way I was acting. But it's because I liked keeping it to myself, like I never wanted to share it with anyone. Remember, guys, I don't even have this confidence, self-confidence, it's like my self-esteem was low because I thought, I was brought up differently. And so, guys, with that in mind, the time I came to realize, you know something was wrong with me is when I was in campus, when I was almost done with campus. Because, guys, if I didn't have a lecture, you could not see me around the corridors, walking, or even, just chilling with people or talking with people. Because mostly in campus, you'll find people mixed up. Yeah, I did have a friend, but at some time the friend also wanted to go and mingle with male gender, or with just people in campus. So, guys, I developed this habit of, when I don't have a lecture, or when I don't have anything serious going on in school, like I was out of it. Like you could not see Ruth around, in corridors or in lecture rooms, just standing and talking like normal people were doing. No, you could not see me. Immediately, I'm done with my classes, I'm off, I'm home. There was not even debating about it. I had a friend, thanks to her, we used to hang out around. She was a good lady. But again, I understood, if you have time, if you want, to be with people, to mingle with different gender, like that was not a problem to me. Because again, I believed what I dislike or what I don't want is not for everyone. Some people just want things that you don't want, and it's okay, guys. It's okay for your friend to like different things that you like, and it's okay for your friend to like doing different things, generally, because it's not a big deal, it's normal. So, yeah, that's how I used to operate, through my campus. Like, I'm in class, I'm out home. I'm in class and I'm going home. Like that, like that. And I came to realize, wow, it had gone too serious, to a point I don't have interest, and I'm a lady. Actually, guys, sorry to take you back in high school. I remember there was a point I had said I wanted to be a nun. But then I didn't even know what a nun is, what is required of someone to be a nun. All I knew is that when you are a nun, you don't get married. And when you are a nun, you just spend your time in church. just serving God. And yeah, that's something that later came to pass, because now when I was done in campus, I started speaking out, and I opted to seek help. And I went through, another stage of my life, whereby through all that, counseling, I came to understand life is different. Guys, life is different, and you don't have to judge your life or what your future according to your upbringing, and you don't have to decide some you don't have to make some decisions that are very critical in your life, depending on something that happened to you. Guys, this is something that most of us go wrong, whereby you judge things according to what you've seen happened to some people, or you judge, you just make conclusions that are sometimes are not valid. Because I came to realize, whatever happened to my mom, it was just a different thing. It doesn't mean like it will happen to me. At least, guys, I changed my mentality towards men, and at least I became close. Like, I can talk to my with my uncles, and I can have friends. I can relate with people in church who are male gender. Like, it really just I just changed my mentality, guys. Something that I like, if you had gone through a situation like mine, I just tell you, you know, don't let it affect you, okay? But it's something that I would like to talk about, and I just have to say this, mostly maybe to the parents out there. If you ever think bringing up your child, you know, as a single mom or as a single dad is the best thing to do, no, it's not. Like, I really have to say this, and I wish it will never happen to anyone, or to anyone, because being brought up by a single parent, it's not really a good idea, because you need your both parents, you need your both parents to talk to, you need your both parents to share with, what's happening with you. You need to tell them every day what's going on. And I think, and I'm sorry to say this, as parents, if you're not ready to co-parent together, to bring up your children or your child together as parents, it doesn't really mean you have to be in the same house, but you know, there's that presence of a father, of a mother in a child, that makes your life a complete, life. So I'll just say this: for those who are not ready to bring a child together, I would wish it doesn't happen. I would wish you don't get a child. It's rather not to bring up a child who will go through so much because a dad is not there, or will go through so much because a mom is not there. At depending being that that's how you want it to be. Because I hear some people say, because at least I know I'm old enough to understand things, and I hear people say, I want to have a baby, but I don't want to be married. I want to have a baby, but I don't need a wife. Then why do you want one thing? I think these things should go hand in hand. If you want a baby, get married. Or if you want a baby, have a wife, so that you are able to bring up this child in a way that is, that is good. Because I wouldn't say that this is a traditional way of doing things, but I'd say personally, at the age I am, if I completely make up my mind I want to be married, you know, something I still debate a lot with myself. Guys, you don't have to judge me, that's me. Then I won't have children, because there's no way you'll do it with one, there's no way you'll have children when you're not married. You have, it's not even about being saying all. It's not even about, how the society will take you, or what the society will say about it. But I think with my upbringing, or being raised without a dad, I'll say I'll never want any child out there. Even I'll never want my own children to grow up without a dad in their life. You know, even if you're not in good terms, parents, if there's any parent who is watching this, I think it's always good, involve both parents, in bringing up this child, you know, because again, it doesn't matter what you're going through. What matters is the future of this child. I really went through a lot, I just told you a bit of it, what I went through, and maybe I'll share with you part two of this. But just know, guys, it's not a good experience, and it's not something I'd like any child to go through. And I just wish our parents out there are the best. And shout out to my mom. I really love my mom very much, guys. Everything I do, I just I just do it, considering my mom, and I'll do anything for her because she gave the best for us. So guys, that was it. I think I have to end this video here. There will be a part two, maybe, but I have to end this video here, guys, and I would like to appreciate you for listening and even for watching this video. Just know that I love you so much, but God loves you more. And then until the next video, bye bye, cheers, I love you.